Harry Markopoulos was the whistleblower on Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. Bernie Madoff was well known in the financial world as an investor that could provide huge returns regardless of what the market was doing. Markopoulos was proficient in calculus, linear algebra, non-normal and normal statistics, and through that was able to investigate into Madoff's strategy and realized that mathematically it was impossible for Madoff to be actually getting the returns that he was reporting. After looking at all of his information, Markopoulos discovered that he was reporting down months only 4% of the time, which 96% positive months is unheard of. Markopoulos says it only took him 5 minutes to actually find out that there was fraud. Whether it was a Ponzi scheme or insider trading, he didn't know at the time, but it only took him 4 more hours to prove mathematically that there really was fraud going on. Madoff, however, had a wonderful reputation. He was well known as a successful businessman, and Wall Street in New York knew him as an upstanding guy. So even though he had the proof and suspicions, it still wasn't enough. In following the steps to blow the whistle, bringing the issue up with the immediate manager, Markopoulos was assigned to actually investigate Bernie Madoff's strategy because his managers wanted to replicate it. So as he found out that it wasn't possible, his managers were aware and they discussed the issue with him. He didn't have any direct comment about his wife being involved. However, his wife works for an investment firm and conducts due process on the portfolios that they have there. And so I'm sure that they discussed it at one point or another, but it's never been made clear whether or not they talked about it. And taking it to the next level, because Markopoulos didn't work with Bernie Madoff didn't even know who Markopoulos was, and they'd never actually met. There really wasn't a next level that he could take it to. Reaching out to the company's ethics department, he couldn't really reach out to his own ethics department about it because just like his company period, not related, there wasn't anything that they could do more than Markopoulos could himself. The next step is taking it to someone outside the regular chain of control. Markopoulos did go outside of his firm and outside of Madoff's firm, and he spoke with many higher-ups in large firms on Wall Street, very large reputable firms that were all aware that there was something going wrong with Madoff's strategy. Something just didn't seem right, and none of them. He didn't talk to anyone that had invested with Madoff because it just seemed too good to be true. After that, reaching outside the company, Markopoulos sent the SEC 5 separate submissions of what he had found, detailing each red flag that he found and all of the different things that they should have looked for when they were conducting an investigation on Madoff. However, they only opened one formal investigation, and 11 months later they closed it, saying there wasn't any fraud that was found or anything like that. That was 2 years before they actually found it came to light that there was fraud. Leaving the company is the last step to blowing the whistle. He left Rampart. Markopoulos left Rampart Investment Management. However, he left it simply because he was really good at investigating financial fraud and he wanted to start his own company based on that. Realistically, even though he found out 8.5 years before the Madoff Ponzi scheme came to life, really, like that we all found out about it, he didn't have any part in revealing it. The SEC dismissed his claims and didn't ever acknowledge them. It was late 2008 when Bernie Madoff was unable to continue in his fraudulent investments and he turned himself in. The SEC did not ever make a comment directly about Markopoulos' involvement and on his statements, but they did say that the chairman said he was very concerned with the mistakes that were made and not following through on warnings they were given about Madoff.